Hey guys, sorry I haven't been on in a while. If you actually come back to my channel to see me exclusively, not too many people do yet, which is fine. The people that do come by, I appreciate it, but for them people I apologize for not have made a video recently. I've been kind of busy with Black Ops, but I came back to SC2 because you can never leave SC2. I didn't leave SC2 completely, I just haven't really had the time to throw out a video and play at the same time. But today I have done that for you. I am going to show you ZvZ, and I opened 14 pool, 13 gas. Now I got a good scout in there. I noticed he went with a gas before pool, which tells me, well, I can basically assume he's going to be going Speed Lings. And if you see on the production tab, he has started his Speed Lings already, and I have not, because I have a plan to make Banelings to counter his Speed Lings. Now I know he saw that Baneling nest, which is fine. I am going to make a quick pass around his base to make sure that he hasn't decided to change tech all of a sudden. And look at that, he has changed tech. He has a Roach Warren. So my two Lings come out. I'm going to deflect his scout, and I'm going to think about it pretty carefully, and I will cancel that Baneling nest because I don't want to be sending Banelings into Roaches. Doesn't work out too well. And I throw down my evolution chamber and I start my Speedlings. Now that's basically my decision for the game. That's what I'm going to start with, and that's what I'm going to push pretty heavily on. I am definitely gambling that he's gonna continue going Roaches, and we'll see if he does. At this point, well, not quite yet, but he is poking pretty hard, and you'll see here he's got 3 or 4 Roaches in my base heading up, and I have nothing. Oh, nope, no Roaches yet. These Roaches are poking along right here. This is what I love, this Overlord placement. ZvZ, you definitely want to get an Overlord out in front of his ramp, an Overlord out in front of your ramp. Sometimes they'll get ballsy and drag their queen down to their ramp, but without a tumor I wouldn't suggest it. I'm feeling pretty safe. My +1 started. My Speedlings are just about done, just in time, because he has 2 Lings and 4 Roaches heading into my base. I have quite a few Speedlings on the way. I'm not too concerned. Oh, 3 Roaches. His Speedlings made it a little tricky for me to get a surround at first, but the inevitable has come. He got surrounded. Now, one thing with pushing out this way, he just lost 6 Roaches in my base. That's not cool, man. That's not a good thing to do at the beginning of the game. If you're going to push your opponent hard, make sure he's not gonna just nom on your units. I mean, if you have Roaches, obviously you can't reinforce across the map to steamroll the guy, unless your opponent's absolutely terrible and doing absolutely nothing at all. Anyway, I'm gonna poke around here. I'm not gonna lose all these Lings because it's not a good idea. I know he's got reinforcements. He can reinforce so quickly. I think that's a good point that I'm trying to make. You know, if you're gonna push your opponent, factor in the fact that he's gonna be replenishing immediately. He doesn't have to compete with your reinforcements that come all the way from the other side of the map. Anyway, now my +1's done, so I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling on top of the world, and by now my opponent, he should have thrown down a Baneling nest, because I am clearly going mass Lings, and especially right here. Like, this surround was terrible. I definitely shouldn't have allowed him to kite me 2 or 3 times with those initial 2 or 3 volleys. I lost a lot of Lings to that. If I could have gotten the surround off, it probably would have been more of an even fight. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty scared at this point. I do have to, fortunately, cancel that hatchery. I do have some lings. Luckily, he's poking around a little too long. He probably should have moved immediately into my base. But I'm going to lose a couple drones here, I think, to those lings in the back. Actually, just one. Anyway, here's that a great example that I was talking about before. He just gave me all his units. And, you know, it's just, he would have done so much better if just knowing that, alright, my opponent can outproduce me from his base alone, and I can't reinforce so quickly. But anyway, look at that queen pathing. That's so annoying. Anyway, my 1-1 upgrade is about to finish my second one, Carapace, and he has absolutely nothing, which is okay. I mean, I only have 13 Speedlings. I know that if I push now, I'm just going to lose them 13 Speedlings. I probably better get a more critical number where my reinforcements can get to his base before my initial push dies. It just makes more sense that way. Now I have 19 Speedlings. I probably could have been making runs of drones, but that's not what you do when your opponent is, well, it is kind of. It depends. You can go either way. You could either start doing drones, or you can just keep making units to get that critical number so you can go in there and push on them really hard. One reason I didn't go roaches this game is it's a small map. I mean, it's just so hard to do roach versus roach on a small map, in my opinion. Where Speedlings, if you catch the guy off guard, you can definitely get the one up, and especially if he's not upgrading and you've got your upgrades, it's just so much better. Now, pretty soon here, you'll see a really dumb decision. And I'll point out right now, he's got an overlord over my Speedlings. He sees that I have 43 Speedlings. He knows. And what drives him to some of his decisions baffle me. I guess it's just a bad opponent. He reacted really good initially in the beginning by, you know, going roaches versus my Baneling nest. But definitely by now, he should have switched into Banelings or air or something, because I don't know, that's a critical mass of Speedlings, and they're 1-1, and he just feels very confident to push out into him. Anyway, that was a very bad mistake on his part. Whatever. Right now I've got 2 queens. I'm doing really good. Well, here goes a queen. Anyway, now I have a pretty good number. My larva's pretty high. I know I can reinforce a lot faster than he can defend with his production. So I'm going to take the game right here. 1-1 definitely helped. I think if I didn't have that 1-1 during some of those surrounds, it would have tipped the scale into his favor, I feel. Either way, it was an interesting game. I had a lot of fun playing this one. It was only 14 to 15 minutes, no big deal. I did end up getting a roach warren down just in case, like, because I did have a very high amount of minerals resources that were unspent. I should have done something with them a lot sooner, even if it was, you know, just a third hatch. I could have spent them a lot sooner, or I did have my hive. I could have definitely gotten roach speed and transitioned into roaches. Not hive, I'm sorry, lair. I could have dropped a spire. One thing about this build I like a lot is it's good. It's a good all-around build, and it's very transitional. You can easily, you know, get your layer sooner. Throw up, if you're going PVZ or ZVP, you can throw down a quicker spire. You can throw down them upgrades a lot quicker. You can throw down the speed a lot quicker. If you're doing it versus Terran, you can definitely keep that Baneling nest up, because lately they love just doing bio balls or straight up Marines, and you can get that layer quicker for your speed. ZvZ is a little bit different. You don't need a lot of those other things quite so soon until you know what your opponent's doing, for that matter. Obviously, scouting is very important, and you need to know what your opponent's doing all the time, no matter what the matchup. But in ZvZ, I would say it's a little more crucial, because you don't want to make a ton of Banelings and try to bust into, his ramp that has 6 roaches. I mean, you just wasted so much resources on Banelings. But one thing I think this Zerg could have done differently is, once he lost those first initial roaches, he could have thrown down a Baneling nest and gotten some Banelings out a lot sooner. He could have definitely caused me some grief. He would have caused me, it would have been just a big circle jerk of forcing the other opponent to do the opposite of what he's doing. Anyway, I think the 1/1 Speedlings are very good. They're really good against Zealots. They're really good against Marauders. And if you have a good mix of mutas and 1/1 Speedlings, they're not too bad against mass Marines, as long as you're not like going in while he's stemmed. That's probably a bad idea. Definitely, it's good. It's a good all-around base, build. It's a good start, and then you can transition many ways. Hopefully, I can bring you some of the better macro ZvZ matchups once I get into the 2000s here pretty soon. These games, they are a little bit fun. It's a lot of control. It's very good for learning control, but it's just not the way you want to play every game. You want to be able to outplay your opponent instead of just outproduce him with Speedlings. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I thank you guys for coming by. I hope you guys come by more often. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks a lot.